Okay, hello everyone. Today we featuring a cricketer, a young professional who's been playing the game now for over a decade and still a very young fella. Today it's a privilege of mine to be interviewing my dear friend, my brethren, Mr. Kirk Edwards. Welcome, sir.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah,
You
man.
good?
Yeah, fun.
Yes.
We just want to have I know you're a real fella, so we're going to try and keep this interview as real as possible. And, like you say, it's a special interview, exclusive for Cork website, which is corkedwards30.com. And you can see it right on the screen now. So, Cork, we're just going to dive. We just want to know general background, about your involvement in cricket and so forth. How did it all started?
I started out when I was three. It was down with my grandparents, and I just want to play cricket all the time, asking my granddad to bowl at me and stuff like that. And then, 3 more years passed, and my mum decided to enroll me in a cricketing clinic, a coaching clinic down at Alexandra School with Richard Straker. And
Yeah.
when she first took me there, he said I was too small.
Yeah.
And she's like, just let him feel a couple balls, just let him go stand one side and throw back the ball. And by the time she came to pick me up later that day, I was batting, the big guys. So in my blood,
It's hard to believe you're actually a small guy, considered a small guy.
I was very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, up until probably age 15. Yeah, I was very small.
I remember you mentioned a joke something I was say at 8:15 I was actually bigger than you.
Yeah, you always look that size.
No, man, that's not true.
You always look this size. From the time I met you were this size.
Alright, but Cock, let me start from your background in school. I know I met you for the first time when you were going to Alexandra.
Yeah.
And we played against each other then. But away from the sport itself, you weren't really the best student per se because your focus was really on cricket. And I think you were probably, I don't know if to use this word, known called categorized as an outcast somewhat.
Yeah.
Is that true?
A lot of negative was flying around, particularly because I was not interested in academics, to that level. Obviously, I was a student well capable because the grades I got to even go to Alexandria. I always could do work, but my focus was definitely on the field, and I know what I wanted to do from a very young age. So I just had confidence and went forward in that. And that's how that's how the Kirk Edwards story really went.
But I know that you're a self-driven person, as you mentioned, a very positive individual. But there must have been some external influences, a few persons who have really kept you going,
Definitely.
off the field. You want to mention a few?
Yeah, this thing all started, with my dad as well. He's a very positive guy. And then it's Corey Collymore who, came into my life when I was 11, and he started took me and walked me through the journey until, I could walk on my own. So I'm very grateful for him and that. Obviously, I had good support with my friends from primary school and my cousins and everybody. So everybody, they just say, listen, go and get what you want. Don't give up. Just go get it, and they know that that's what I'm about to do.
Okay. You mentioned Corey Collymore and your dad and all these guys. I think Corey from your community as well, St. Peter, right?
Yeah.
And there are a few other guys, Fidel, Pedro, and so is Kimon from that side as
Yeah.
well.
But not crossing you actually, and I don't know how you could forget to mention, Wangi, who is the guy who I grew up playing cricket with, who knows my game probably better than any of those guys I call,
Yeah.
apart from my dad, because we spent a lot of time, we close in age, so we used to practice together. Sometimes we didn't even have proper lunch, but we out there practicing cricket all day. We just meant that we had to get it right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we start at 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening and still going.
That's that love, that passion.
Yeah, you just go sleep with it on your mind and you want to wake up and go practice, make sure you get your cover drive working or you get the hook shot working or something.
St. Peter have definitely produced quite a bit of cricketers. What do you think is something special about this community?
Well, I can speak from the point of view of Alexandra School and Gorgon Parish School to a lesser extent, both schools in St. Peter, but we definitely had a really good, a top games master in Mr. Vaughn. Another guy this is the guy who really toughened me up and let me know, listen, Kirk, you have the package, you have the tools, so just go and do it. And he put me to captain the school from a very young age. So coming up in the community like St. Peter, where you go to certain schools and you got certain tough games masters and stuff like that, they teach you certain things that tend to help you throughout your career in terms of sportsmanship and like being competitive, never die attitude, these kind of things. So there's no surprise to me that with this way of thinking, along with talent and skill, that you must produce good cricketers.
Okay.
The
Okay.
discipline that these guys instill from the time you're into secondary school, as long as you buy into it, you have to sail.
Great stuff. But I know you're a very busy fellow these days, touring when not in Barbados, throughout the region or even UK and so forth. But do you get time to go back to the community, spend time with friends and family and so forth?
Yeah, every minute, every day. Sometimes you get accused of spending time with people in the community who some other people in the community were frowned upon due to the fact that they're not seen to be achieving in terms of what society has as an achievement. But to me, if I neglect the underprivileged, that's even worse. I need to.
Are you
get
talking
more
about some
time.
that persons might categorize as stereotype as get to?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And these people, they turn their back on what they would call the ghetto children, and then they sit aside and just criticize the children, for, oh, he's no good. Well, every child needs love.
Yeah.
So if you turn your back and you don't show a child love, you expect the child to show you love in the next couple of years. I think you're pretty stupid. So people need to take more responsibility, and not just because I grew up in a home where my mom and dad cared for me and they taught me wrong and right. Everybody did not grow up in that home, so I'm aware of that, and I try to put my energy towards letting the youngster know, listen, this is right, this is wrong. Not everybody gonna make it in academics. You might be a sportsman, you might be able to find a trade, you might be a good carpenter. So my thing is to encourage people all the time.
Yeah, okay. And back to some cricket now. I mean, you came to Alexandria. You mentioned you came as master and so forth, then Wanky and so forth. And you came to Barbados youth teams, West Indies youth teams, and the Sami. Tell me about your actual cricket development, if you could emphasize on that a bit.
Well, I said the first major outing was Barbados on the 15. That's where you really play for your country and you get that exposure. You go to Guyana and where the tournament was held and you play against the Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, Trinidad, Guyana, and that that really that really made you feel like I could play for Barbados one day, the senior team, because you're playing for Barbados, but it's on the 15,
Right.
and well, the next step is on the 19, and then on to senior cricket. So I think the foundation really started from there, and I had a top manager at the time called Ezra Mosley, who really pushed me because I think I just loved batting and nothing else at the time, and
Okay.
he encouraged me to become a more all-round cricketer in terms of my fielding and stuff like that. So I'm really grateful for him.
Okay.
Maximum respect to Mr. Mosley.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, like you say, you think you were vice captain for West Indies under 19 too, right? Correct?
Yeah, that was horrible. that was the worst trip of my life.
Yeah, where you guys went? Was it
We went to Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Yeah,
Okay, and Bangladesh.
yeah I left the Caribbean as the vice captain. I played one game up there. It was really frustrating. And
Okay.
actually, that through that experience, it made me a stronger person. I learned a lot there.
Okay. And
Pardon?
Yeah, I think it can bring me to the next question because I mean, there you said it was frustration and so forth, and I mean, right after that, West Indies under 19 team selection from you and that too. I think you went through a bit of some sort of stutter between that under 19 and getting on to Barbados senior team or establishing your place. How did you deal with that whole part of your life, that your little career? Right?
I tell you what, it felt a bit lost at the time because it was like no one from home supported me. That's when I actually knew, well, my support in Barbados is limited from that age. So then I was able to say, well, okay, I'm not going to get this support, so I need to believe in myself 100 times more.
Yeah.
Because the more people don't believe in you, I think you need to believe in yourself to actually make it. Because if you sort of let the negative energy from these people transfer into you, it obviously becomes a hindrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think during that period as well, you would have gone to UK and played some club cricket there as well.
Yeah.
How did that impact you?
That
Your cricket really?
that was very good for my cricket in terms of going to England and playing in different conditions. It was for buttons, you know. It was I didn't really get any money
Yeah.
on that tour, but it wasn't about the money. It was going up there, making a name, scoring some runs for the club, so that you could get jobs in the future.
Yeah.
You know, you had to make a sacrifice at some stage, and I thought that was the time. So that worked out pretty well for me.
I think that was Twickenham Club, right?
Twickenham,
And
yeah.
if I can remember what Twickenham on the website then, I'm not too sure. I haven't viewed the site recently, but they had up after that season that you were the best overseas they ever had, and they had some top overseas.
Yeah, they had it. They had it up. I think it's probably still up.
Yeah.
As far as as I can recall.
Yeah.
And I had a good time there. Being a professional is not only about on the field performance. It's how you deal with people as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just be a guy who could play good cricket, but you know you can have a conversation with a person. It's all about how you could uplift the next person. Once people live like that, it goes really well.
And I mean, you got your opportunity on the Barbados senior team after a string of very good schools, you know, and even after that time in the UK, you got your chance. I think from my fast track a bit, but I think in the middle of one season you were made captain as well of Barbados team.
That was the end. It was the end of the season.
At the end of the season.
To be honest, my struggles, I had a lot of struggles in Barbados cricket, coming up. Due to whatever reason, maybe they sit me down and explain it one day. But like I said, I thank them for, putting me through some of the roughest treatment that a cricketer could probably ever get.
Yeah.
And I still look forward to representing them well. I do it every year, and I come out and I give it my best, because it's not about one or two silly people who have a career in the hand that decide to knock you around. It's all about representing Barbadian people.
Yeah.
So the picture is much bigger than a group of guys who get selected by the president to select a group of players. Because sometimes people come up with their own agenda and they just not realizing that what we have this guy's career in our hands. Let's treat it with some respect. So I face a bit of that as well, but hopefully they can sleep well at night, because I sleep very well.
Yeah. And I mean, let me go, because after that, like you say, I mean, since I've known you, I've been following your career very, very closely, and I mean, your performances have been quite consistent, So you went to the first class level. You quickly fast tracked to being captain after obviously great performances on the field, and from all word, I mean, your teammates, they have commended you. I mean, they have sung praises in terms of your leadership, not only on the field but off the field, because these guys respect you. And I think that was one of the reasons why you were made captain of
That is the
team.
reason.
Yeah.
That is the reason, because they see how how I live with, how the guys live with me. We live as one. It's not a case where I try to rule with an iron fist, or I say youngster do this or youngster do. No, everybody's a big man, because to be honest, all of us on the same salaries as well. So you might have a guy 18. He would decide if he want to look up to me or not. I can't go to a guy and say, listen, you need to look up to me. If you don't treat these guys with respect, then they will never treat you with respect. And that is the key thing. I respect each of them like I would respect myself. So it's quite easy.
Okay. So let's talk about probably the highlight of your career so far then. Debut, 110 against, a formidable Indian attack featuring Harbhajan Singh.
Yeah.
Tell me about that innings.
And that was how to put it? That was, in the first innings, I got an unfair dismissal off the helmet.
Yeah.
I scored like 6 and went back to the hotel. Actually, my dad, he flew in for the game, and we were sitting.
That was in Dominica, right?
In Dominica.
Yeah.
So I told him that I would score 100 next inning, so don't worry. And to actually do it and see him in the crowd, it was very, very pleasing to my heart. But not only that, I always knew I could play Test cricket, so that was just confirmation. I really needed to get out there and get some Test cricket in, and I was glad to be able to get an opportunity to go and play.
What was the most memorable part of that knock?
Most memorable part, oh God, yeah, the stage when I was 99 and I nearly got run out. That was
That's when you drop your butt.
Yeah, I drop everything. Drop everything and just,
Yeah,
praises to
something
the
like
Father,
that.
yeah. Just look up and praises. Thank you very much. That was a feeling that I can't explain.
Mm.
Feeling I can't explain.
And then you went on to Bangladesh the next series and you got another 100 again.
Yeah, then I got another 100. And then I got to 86 twice. I got to 86 in Bangladesh, and I got to 86 at Mumbai.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I should probably have like 4 test centuries already, but it wasn't to be, and we live and we learn.
How was the experience playing with I read an article Sachin describing it as something special. How was it meeting and interacting with Javed and Tenduk and these other guys?
Sometimes it really takes you out of your own game because you're watching these guys so hard. You just want to know like what makes these guys tick. Like how do they do so well at this level for so many years? It's like it's all admiration. I watch Sachin and sometimes I find it difficult to concentrate on my own feeling. Watching Sachin back, I'm watching every move that he made, and he actually came up to me and he said to me that he really enjoyed my batting in the series, and I was shocked. It was like this Sachin Tendulkar, so it was good. He called me up to the dressing room, got his details, and ever since we kept in contact.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I struggled a bit in England, and Sachin sent me a message. I think it's probably one of the best messages I ever received in my life. So, it's all good.
And you just mentioned England, though. I know England is probably a state that you probably. I mean, ideally, you probably forget it. To be honest, I know you're a strong person, you have to move over. But what was it like in England? How you dealt with all the pressure, because you did come under some pressure there.
Yeah, well, pressure is probably from people who don't understand what I've been through. Because I've been playing against Australia here in the Caribbean. After the first test, I got injured, and then from then it was just rehab. I wasn't able to bat in the nets and stuff like that. But the next time I was batting was in England, early in the year. So these are tough conditions.
In May, to be precise.
In May, to be precise, exactly. It's cold and the ball is doing a lot, and I didn't get off. So, kill me for that. But if people think that that's going to stop me from, achieving what I want to achieve, I think they got another thing coming. Because I can never stop this.
So, let me just read off the stats off my phone here. 9 tests, 2 centuries, 4 half centuries, average of 39, and yet you're out the West Indies team.
Yeah,
an average of 30. I mean, there are guys who've probably been playing forever. Over the years, I've been following West Indies cricket. People have been playing for years, averaging 20 something as a batsman, that even all the 30s, and they have played 30 plus tests. I mean, how you feel after being dropped or omitted from the squad after just 9 tests and still averaging 39?
Well, to explain that feeling, now might not be the appropriate time to explain that feeling. What I could say to you is that I'm quite accustomed to this throughout my career. Like, I'm accustomed to doing well and being pushed aside for whatever reason. Maybe it's that, I was not one who they had to make it from young. It might not have been part of the plans, and I started like turn up and score some runs and offset the show. Who knows? That's a matter for them. But what I could tell you is that whenever I do get the opportunity to represent the West Indies or even Barbados, any team I play for, it does not make sense me playing for a team if I'm not going to give my all. And by giving my all, I prefer at the end of the game to be on the winning side.
Right.
If I'm going to be on the losing side, let it be that we put a good fight up.
Right.
Because you made a better team win all the time. I'm not a sore loser, but I'm not going to settle for losing without effort. I can't participate in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go off the field for just a couple minutes. Briefly, we're not going to do it on this next time. It's too long. But I mean, in recent times, you have came under a bit of banter from the media, should I say, from the press. I mean, how you take it? I mean, I read an article. I think the name of the article was "Take Note, Kirk," or something like that. I mean, do you think you provide provocative answers and responses that cause these things? You bring this on yourself?
I think if the newspaper send a silly guy to ask me silly questions, then I answer them in the way I see fit. And if then these people decide that they're gonna write me a note. Actually, I think with the same people, they want a bit of fame off your name. You know, something that I've been building for years. I go there, play, I practice, and I do what I have to do. Being to this academy, I train, I get myself to a position, and then they just want to bring you down. But to me, it's all weak, you know. And other players should actually learn from it, because if a guy's gonna write you a note in the papers and of such, I think I had a peep at it as well. And to me, it doesn't make sense what he's saying. But that's the matter for the newspapers of who they hire. I think they need like better sports writers. I think they need people who are gonna actually write about the sport and not involve personal issues. If a guy don't like how I play, okay, no problem. Everybody can't like how I play. I agree with that. But you have to give the people who are reading the necessary information. Like in that same interview, he didn't even ask me anything about the finals. I cannot understand how, you know, we just won the finals and you don't ask me about a key moment in the game.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me what was the turning point in the game, what I thought was influential in if it was the toss, if it was nothing. No, it's just all about some vindictive thing that he built up in his mind over me. I mean, on me over the last couple of years. So I was just doing it, and to me it was funny actually.
Yeah.
I laugh at it. I laugh, and it's like, what is this guy asking me? Why don't they send somebody who could actually, you know, cover proper stories?
Yeah.
Keep sending people that are incompetent. Send some proper people and let me talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, I have no problem with media whatsoever. None. Never did.
Mm.
Right? But I just wanted it to be clear that I will have a problem with the media if they're misleading the people. I think the people have a right to know the actual truth.
I think one of the questions asked, and it was highlighted again in that same article from the person we're talking about. You know that article you said, yeah, that people take note of. Um, in the interview previous that the one that I think, I don't know if that instigated that article. You know, it was that too. You know, it was put over that way. But I mean, you said that the one key reason for the team doing so well or winning is actually staying away
Yeah.
from the media. You want to explain that a
I
bit?
could explain that. In Barbados, you know, we have a lot of negative towards the cricketers, you know, because of the rich legacy. You have cigar fish, sober, Sabaton Beach. You have guys who did exceptionally well. Okay, some people who come out to cricket expect that. Say Jonathan Carter is supposed to play like a cigar fish, sobers. They don't have patience. So what it is that you have a group of young guys who's playing cricket out there for Barbados, and a whole set of group of old people in the stands just cursing them. You know, they shout the most negative stuff that you know that they could shout, and it's fueled by these same reporters who write a lot of crap about the players. So what I encourage you guys to do is not to read that nonsense, and because if you start to read it and it get in your mind, then you're constantly under pressure. You're trying to prove. You just relax and you play a game. If a guy can write whatever you want to write. So when I say stay away from the media, I meant like negative press. Like stay away from all these negative things, and you know continue to believe in yourself. So that's all I. And it worked well. Nobody. Normally, you come in the dressing room when they play for Barbados in a year. You see that article that such and such wrote. He's pressuring. Might be you.
Yeah.
And you're there sitting down preparing for your game, and you hear that, and you're like, that's too much baggage. You don't need it. So just get rid of all of that, and everybody was free, and we played together as a team, and look, we won the tournament. Brilliant.
Great stuff. Congrats on that,
Thank
Skipper.
you very much.
I mean, we can move off of that negative vibes one time, and let's move on to positive. You know, I mean, you have just made your highest first class score, 190 against, Sri Lanka, 18. You know, does this mean that Kirk Edwards still in, you know, rearing for another bite of the cherry at the international level?
Always rearing, always. Actually, I staying away from that cricket is a bit tough for me because I know what I'm able to offer. You know, I've been there and I've been in a good rhythm and I've been scoring runs consistently, doing well. That's what I love doing. I love to play, make runs, do well, and you know influence my team in a positive way. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back to do that. That's what I really want to get back to do. As for the 190, to be honest with you, I felt like it could go on and on forever and ever. And I got up with the worst ball of the game. Full toss. Just pop it to deep and make it, and I was gutted. But it also showed me that I could get higher all the time because before that, previous high score was 171 against England Lions. So, step by step, I'm getting there. Need to get some double hundreds and, some triples and stuff like that. I'm working towards it.
Okay, great stuff. And finally, we close this interview because we must acknowledge now that not only in Barbados but regionally, internationally, Kirk Edwards is actually a role model now, and these young persons, the young cricketers, they're looking up to you. What sort of guidance or what advice you have to these young cricketers aspiring to be a professional cricketer?
Well, first thing I'm going to say to you guys is that there's no substitute for hard work. And if you think you're going to cut corners or, you're going to be an ice servant and only train when you're under supervision or watch, then you're definitely not going to make it. You could give up right now. If you have the discipline to get up and do the same things over and over, the things that are required, and you get to find them out by playing, whether it's run a few miles, hit a few balls, whatever the case may be, it's something you have to do daily. It's just like brushing your teeth. You don't decide, well, I brush my teeth on Monday, but not Tuesday. You do it every day. And it's the same thing with cricket. You got to do it every day, right? Unless, of course, you take vacation or whatever. But certain things you need to master the basics. You have to have discipline, right? And focus is the key. A lot of guys get carried away when, a little bit of success comes their way. That's the time to get even more focus, right? Because suddenly you pop out and everybody know your name, everybody shouting your name, Kirk, Kirk, and you're like, yeah, you're doing it good. These are people that never showed you last month,
right,
or the month in front.
Right.
So it could be a distraction, and these things I seen it go to some cricketers' head, and they start to feel like, look, yeah, I've made it. And, you stay calm and you continue doing your good work, right? Continue doing your good works. Treat your practice. The nets, to me, the nets are so important. I don't think a guy should go in the nets unless he has a plan on what he wants to achieve and what he's working on. I just don't think you should just go in the nets and have a hit. I believe you should go in there with a purpose, with the meaning of coming out of there, improving an area, and really, really work at it. Spend time on areas. Spend time on different areas of your game. So I see a lot of youngsters, and I want to say to them to stay away from the negative people. If you got people around you telling you that you can't make it and stuff, you need to get rid of them. Get rid of them. Don't even hang out with them people. Constructive criticism is different to negativity. Because a guy might say to you, listen, you played a bad shot yesterday. That's not negative. You look into it and you see, well, yeah, maybe I played a bad shot. That's the guy looking out for you. So there's a difference between constructive criticism and negativity. If you got an older guy telling you, well, you can't make it, give up, you need to get rid of that guy.
Yeah.
You know you can make it,
Right.
Make it. If you believe, listen, this is my destiny, this is my journey, and you will not make it if you don't believe. You never make it if you don't. You have to actually feel that you're gonna. You gotta believe. It gotta come from deep inside because you're gonna meet obstacles. There are gonna be times where a team gets selected and you're not in it.
Right.
It's so easy to drop your head after that.
Yeah.
Right. What I would do now. What? I didn't make that team. More runs next time. So they can't leave me out next time. So I look at it as if I don't make a team, I didn't do enough. Gotta go and do more. Double, triple, step up my training regime. Bum, bum, bum. Gotta do it. I mean, look at Christopher Jordan.
Right.
Perfect example of a guy who been through quite a lot recently and is now at the top of his game in county cricket. That is a professional cricketer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I admire that guy. He even brought professionalism to a very high extent into the Barbados team, right? And it cannot go unsaid. I have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So that's a young cricketer who I think young cricketers could actually relate to and look up to and see how he does things. Oh, proper guy.
Great stuff. Great
Yes.
stuff, Kirk. Well, like we said, I mean, an exclusive interview for Kirk Edwards, cheese0.com. That's Kirk's website. And I mean, we're going to have follow-up interviews to this. This is only the first premiere. You could expect great things on and off the field, of course, because we're definitely looking forward to looking at you playing in whites at the international level, Test cricket.
Actually, I did not mention that, I have very good support at home from my wife and my mom and my sister, my aunts. It's a whole package. So sometimes if things might not be going as good in terms of my game, when I look at them, all I could do is smile because they're beautiful people. So life is also more than cricket. Cricket, is a job, it's a passion, it's what you love, and you understand that. But you have to be able to understand there's life and there's sport. So you can't bring your feelings off the field and bring them home onto your family either. You gotta be able to leave that at the ground. Yeah, I had a bad day at the office, bad day. Home, these people at home, they did not have the type of day you had at the office. They're expecting you when you get home for you to be as normal as possible. So that's a bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah.
But without them, I don't think I'd exist or I would be doing as well. So I want to give thanks to them as well.
All right. So you've heard it from Mr. Edwards himself. Crediting all the families, friends, and the supporters. The loyal supporters. And like we say, this is actually one way of showing them and saying thank you to them. This interview as well as an opportunity to thank them. So we want to thank you for watching. And like we said, we're gonna have more of these interviews in the future. Definitely gonna look forward to seeing a few more test centuries, a double century, of course, and so on. But as for now, we're gonna take a little leave. All right, Kirk?
Yeah,
Take it
man.
easy.
Yes.
All the best.
Respect.
All right? Cool.
Thank you.